this is Mikayla with Honest Talk Radio. Honest Talk Radio is a space where we'll be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly in real, raw conversations to try and do our part to reduce the amount of shame, guilt, and judgment that so many women face. Our hope is that through these conversations, you'll feel supported and encouraged in all aspects of life. Wednesday nights are extra special as we have actor, author, fitness expert, nutrition expert, and father Sanjay Raja with us. So welcome, Sanjay.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
So excited to be on the show as usual, and I'm in dreary downtown Los Angeles again today. And it's been raining like crazy, but I thought since last time we've been really kind of talking about nutrition, we may want to focus on the fitness side of things today.
Absolutely. And actually, what better topic to focus on since what you're doing in LA has a lot to do with fitness?
Absolutely. It's a very health conscious part of the country. And they believe in, this is one of the places where I love to come to because not only do you find cheap, healthy, organic food everywhere because they've got so many grocery stores, but you also have so many areas in and around LA where you can just park your car, get out, do some exercises in the park and for free, and just live a really balanced life out here, which is great.
That really is awesome. I definitely miss those aspects of California. I don't miss the traffic and the rush hour and craziness that it has, but the active lifestyle is definitely something I miss.
Yeah. It's a balance because I was in it was 2:00 out here, and getting from point A to point B was roughly 20 miles, but that was an hour and a half drive, which is not a lot of fun. So
That's right. I did find out that when we moved to Hawaii, for those of you listening, the Rosales family is moving to Hawaii, another place that promotes active lifestyle. Just to go 8 miles from where we're planning on living to the Air Force Base takes people in a car about an hour. Like, my husband's going to be able to ride his bike faster than the cars can move.
Well, it's a good reason to ride your bike then, right?
Exactly. So today we're really going to hone in on fitness myths and some basic principles of exercise and how to get started. So I'm excited as I'm someone who loves to exercise but has not always had the motivation to do so.
Yeah, it all depends. It all comes down to what you're trying to accomplish when you're in the gym. I go to the gym at like 5, 6 in the morning at times, and sometimes later in the afternoon. But it just kind of depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So one of the biggest questions I get is, when is the best time to work out? Honestly, the answer is really when you want to work out, what fits your schedule. But if you're looking from the physiological standpoint, what studies are showing that the best time is typically in the mornings, because your body's ready and primed to burn more calories. And if you go in the morning, I like the morning because once you knock that workout out, guess what? Your rest of the day you feel like this huge sense of accomplishment.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how good you feel, not from I did something this morning, but you're like, wow, I accomplished something really big, and now the rest of the day is going to seem pretty easy.
So, question for you, should you eat before you work out, or should you wait if you're going first thing in the morning?
It's a great question. So, I've done both, where I have woken up, gone straight to the gym, then come home and eat my monster breakfast, and that monster breakfast actually gets a little bit bigger because I'm so hungry in the gym, if that's possible. But you can, you have to just judge your body and see how you feel. If you feel like drained in energy, but honestly, just eat something healthy. Like, eat like an apple right before you go work out, come back and eat a healthy breakfast. So, don't go too heavy if you're expecting to do cardio. And if you're going to do cardio, try not to drink coffee before you work out because your heart rate's already elevated anyways.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I typically grab an apple or a banana on my way out the door. It's about all I can handle at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. But banana's full of potassium so that you don't cramp up. Apples are great as well. But one of the things that I see at the gym, which just boggles my mind, is people on the bikes drinking coffee. I just don't understand that.
That's like I don't understand when people are standing outside the gym smoking a cigarette. But,
Yeah,
to each is their own.
I've seen that too. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
But yeah, priming your body, make sure you stretch right before you go work out. You just do it at the gym. But don't go there cold, meaning unstretched, just jumped out of bed and start lifting weights, because that's the best way to injure yourself.
mm-hmm. So what are so first thing in the morning would be ideal, but really it's whenever you can find time to work out, right?
Correct. It just depends. Everybody's schedule is so different, so busy in so many ways. The key is going to be supplementing workouts with nutrition. It always comes back to nutrition at the end of the day. So here's another common thing about the gym, and that is if you go to the gym and then you don't get a good night's sleep, you may as well have not gone to the gym.
Yeah.
This is the truth, because in your sleep is when you burn calories, burn fat, and we talked about this in an earlier episode. When you go to the gym, you are increasing your testosterone levels, which has the added effect of promoting greater HGH within your system. And now, when you get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, 6 hours is when HGH starts to increase in your system. 7 increases more. 8 is when it peaks in your system. So you're burning a lot of fat and building muscle. So working out is great. It boosts testosterone and HGH. But if you work out and you don't get good sleep, like 3 or 4 hours maybe, you are losing all the benefits that you work so hard for.
Wow, that's really good to know. I have definitely fallen under that lack of sleep mode because as a busy mom, and I tend to sometimes stay up too late because I'm finally got the kids into bed and ready to work on some stuff that I need to get done.
Yeah.
But when you put it in the perspective of your workout's really not benefiting you if you haven't gotten sleep, then that's kind of eye-opening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, food and sleep should be your reward for such a great workout, right? So
right.
I certainly enjoy my sleep, and I certainly enjoy my food. So yeah, indulge in that as within reason, but that should be your reward for putting in the effort and making the time to go work out.
I always find the most comfortable spot in my bed, though, right before my alarm goes off to go work out.
That's true with anything. It's just like right before the alarm goes off, you hit that, you're in the zone. Perfect temperature, perfect everything. And but here's the thing. I watched this video. I'm sure you've probably seen it because you've got a military family, about a Navy SEAL admiral talking about the first thing you should do is make your bed, right?
Right.
Yeah, and he talks about that as a metaphor of you start the day with the task, you accomplish one, it motivates you to accomplish the next one, the next one, the next one. And why do I bring that up? Is because the clients that I work with that basically have worked out in the morning, they feel so empowered to tackle the day and be more productive because they took that one thing off their list that they're dreading. And, it's not that they don't enjoy working, it's just that they can't find the time, so they dread it. And so once they've accomplished that, no matter if it's lifting weights, running, or cardio, whatever they're doing, guess what? They are that much more productive, have that much more energy, and they're ready to basically recreate that day over and over and over and have a really productive week.
So here's the thing. If I do end up having to wait later in the day, I do tend, like if I do have a full stomach and it's, after lunch or even early evening, I feel so sluggish and have a really hard time with the workout. Like the workout does not feel like it does first thing in the morning. Is that just because I've eaten, or what is that?
Yeah, it's basically, it depends on a lot of factors. If you're sitting in traffic, then you're stuck behind a desk, you've been sedentary for a good portion of the morning, right?
Right.
So, that cycle's hard to break when you go to the gym. So it's a combination of that plus what you ate for lunch. If you've eaten a lot of carbs for lunch that are weighing you down, you're going to be feeling more sluggish. If you ate a lot of fat, you're going to feel a lot more sluggish. Mm-hmm. If you eat sugar, you may be crashing right about then, and you're going to feel more sluggish. So nutrition plays an integral part about that. So a tip that I tell my clients is that if you're going to have to do a mid-afternoon workout, one of the ways to help increase energy in anticipation of that workout is basically eat a small lunch. So eat your big breakfast in the morning, eat a half-size lunch, and then after your workout in the afternoon, eat another small lunch so that it kind of equals one big lunch. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, that makes sense.
You don't feel sluggish, you feel light, and you've rewarded yourself for getting the workout in, and then go right back to eating the dinner that you're going to eat. So just break that lunch in half into two smaller meals.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I oftentimes think that I do this. I think of my nutrition separately than my fitness. And you mentioned in previous episodes how really nutrition needs to be the priority and then the fitness.
Absolutely. It's the 60-30-10 algorithm we talk about, which is 60% diet, 30% exercise, 10% sleep.
Yeah. We have a question from the audience. She wants to know, what about people who are struggling to get out of bed? Like, what are some ways you can create that habit?
Listen, I am not impervious to that because that's happened to me when it's raining outside or it's really cold outside. It is hard to get out of that bed. It really is. But you know what it comes down to is creating a sustainable routine for yourself. And it starts with the night before. And what I mean by that is if you go to bed at midnight and expect to get up at 6 or 5 in the morning to go work out, the chances of that happening are pretty slim.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely. Now, if you go to bed at a decent time, say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, maybe even 11 if you're pushing it, if you're getting at least 6 to 7 hours, you are setting yourself up for success to get up, to be motivated to work out in the morning. And guess what? Once you do, and this is what I found to be pretty true, once you get like 3 or 4 workouts in the morning in a row, it's addictive because you feel so empowered. So my advice is go to bed at a decent time the night before. Try to get a minimum of 6 hours, and then you will find it much easier to get up to go work out. And you do that 3 or 4 days in a row, you'll feel really empowered to keep doing that because you're going to feel good throughout the rest of the day.
I will 100% agree with that. It's definitely hard to start that routine, that new routine, especially if you've had years of staying up way too late and then, slugging your way through the day. But another question that we have is, what would be a good lunch before a workout?
So,
go ahead.
No problem. So good lunch, it depends on the time of, so good lunch before workout. Okay, so we're talking about mid-afternoon workout. So like I said, something that's high in fiber, that has a good amount of good carbs, so like brown rice carbs, quinoa carbs, something, whole grain carbs, because that's going to be your fuel source anyways. And then low sugar. I would say like lean protein with some veggies that contains fiber and a good amount of carbs. So if it's like a healthier sandwich, fine, go at it. If it's salad with protein and fiber, okay, that's fine. No sugar dressing or no dressing. Mm-hmm. But eat something like we talked about. Eat a smaller lunch than you normally would right before your workout, and then go work out, and then finish off that lunch, or split your lunch in half and finish off that lunch after your workout.
Right. Yep. On that note, when I first started working out consistently again, I felt really great for the first couple of hours that I got home. I'd go at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd feel super motivated and like, oh, I'm going to get so much done during the day. But since my kids were little, I always hit a wall around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think it's because originally, that was their nap time, although they don't nap anymore. Around that time, I find myself wanting to take a nap, whether I've worked out or not, but even working out, having all that energy, and then it just is gone by 2 or 3.
By 2 or 3. Now, what did you eat throughout the day?
I knew you were going to ask that question. I do pretty good. Well, so I used to skip breakfast. We've talked about that in previous shows. Slap on the wrist for that one. But I have started having a piece of sprouted toast with avocado, like mashed avocado on top, and then an egg. Yeah. That's kind of been my go-to. Or some granola with homemade yogurt and like a fruit berries or something on top. That I've been eating that as a snack.
Right.
And then, yeah, lunch, it depends.
So what I would recommend is, and it may seem a little bit odd, but I would recommend increasing the size of your breakfast. By the way,
Okay.
the reason why I'm excuse me, the reason why I'm saying that is because excuse me, is that breakfast, like we talked about, regulates your blood sugar. So that way, if you have a big breakfast in the morning, come lunchtime, you don't have to eat as much, or you're just supplementing what you did for breakfast, and so you won't have that crash or that loss of energy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I would recommend, and then also make sure your lunch is clean, low sugar as much as possible, because that's where the crashes happen.
Mm-hmm.
And just making sure that you're not sedentary in the hours leading after lunch. So if you're eating lunch right after, and let's say you go work out, you're not sitting on the couch. Just stay active. You know, basically, the more in motion you are, the higher energy levels will be versus going to work out and then sitting on the couch for 5 hours.
Yeah, that's so true because I usually, after my workout, I get the kids to school, I have my breakfast, and then I'm at the computer the majority of the rest of the day. And so I do fluctuate between sitting and standing, but I'm still not really moving. And I definitely feel that afternoon slump.
Yeah.
As far as increasing the size of my breakfast, increasing it with the same type of food, like just a bigger portion of the same foods, or adding other.
Well, you could do, yeah. So it's really up to you. So like I eat my 6, 7 eggs, right?
Right.
And then do my oatmeal, my sprouted muffin toast. So I'll mix it up. I'll throw in like a protein pancake. I'll do, I'll eat a half of one, or if I'm really feeling like I need the energy, I'll eat a whole one. So you can increase the amount of clean food you eat during breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that way you are, and like I said, breakfast is your cheat meal, so take full advantage of that.
Absolutely. I'm working on it. At least I'm eating breakfast now, so that's a step in the right direction.
It is. It is.
Crystal asked, would a smoothie be a good option before lunch?
A smoothie be a good option before lunch. I don't mind smoothies as long as they're not like a juice smoothie. Okay, so there's a big difference between, basically the smoothie has the pulp and the fiber. We want to make sure all that's in there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we're limiting the amount of sugar. So if you're going to do it, try to mix it up. So basically do like a spinach, strawberry, blueberry, banana smoothie with some non-fat Greek yogurt. So you're low in sugar, high in fiber, high in protein.
Okay.
Stay away from the smoothies that don't add a lot of fiber, that increase the amount of sugar, and don't contain protein.
So probably stay away from those prepackaged, like where you can just dump the stuff in a blender and add water or whatever.
When in doubt, always make your own, because you control everything when you make your own.
Right.
And the reason why I say protein is not because we're protein deficient, like we talked about last episode. We're not. Protein actually makes you feel full. That's why.
Okay. And
protein is endothermic, which means it helps burn fat.
Ooh, that's a fancy word.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we talked about working out. Optimal time would probably be in the morning, but whenever you can fit it in. What are some other basic ideas around fitness? Is there like a type of fitness you want to do for so long, or?
Well, like I said, it comes down to what you're trying to accomplish. So kind of rules of thumb, which is if you're trying to increase muscle size and muscle mass, or trying to gain weight, what you're going to have to do is basically do a lot of resistance training, which is basically lifting weights.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, you don't have to lift a lot of weights. You could just use your own body weight, doing a lot of push-ups, pull-ups. Basically that's your own body weight, and then start adding weights as you go. If you're trying to tone up and basically look lean, you have to strike a balance between a good amount of cardio and a good amount of resistance training. The best way to do that is by doing what's called anaerobic cardio. What you do is, instead of jumping on the treadmill, or jumping on those standard cardio machines, you do high number of low weight reps with weights back to back to back without any breaks. That actually gives you greater cardiac output than just sitting on a treadmill.
That reminds me of a class that I used to go to often called Body Pump. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that be something you recommend for those type of people that are trying to be? It's like that high intensity.
Yeah, if you're better off in a group setting and you feel better motivated to do that, absolutely, because it's called high intensity interval training, right? Mm-hmm. So here's one myth that people don't realize, and that is when you actually jump on a cardio machine, for example, like treadmill, whatever it is, you actually increase your estrogen levels, and you will retain more water also. So you will get a greater fat burn, a greater cardiac output by doing, basically interval training, back-to-back reps, no breaks in between, with resistance training than you will with just cardio training.
Really? Is it work the same between? I mean, is that the same as if you were to go running versus like a HIIT workout?
Yeah. Actually, the body increases estrogen levels when we do straight cardio training. We retain more water as well, and people have a tendency to hit this rhythm, and then they don't challenge their heart rate. They don't make it go up and down, right? So, you listen to music. There's a reason why I don't listen to music when I work out. The reason why is we have a tendency to basically match our heartbeat with the rhythm of the music.
Huh, blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, and that's one thing I found I used to do. So I listen to all this like heavy metal rock and get really amped up, and I was working out. And then when I listened to some more mellow stuff, I realized the rate of the music would really like set the tone on my heartbeat. It was crazy. It was subconsciously I was doing it.
Right. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, I took the music out, and guess what? I got a better feeling in sense of my heart rate was going up and down, which is what interval training is, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, and then you're just like we teach in our pregnancy class, you're more in tune with your body when you're not distracted by things like music and watching TV or something like that.
Exactly. And that's the other thing that just blows me away is people who come to the gym to watch TV. I never understood that.
I know that. Put that in that bucket with the smoking and the drinking coffee on the treadmill. Another question is, two of them: eggs, bacon, waffles for breakfast. Is that a good? I guess how you make them, right? How you make the waffles.
How you make them, try not to fry them and try not to overcook them. So the less you cook your eggs, the better. Because what happens is, like we talked about, you denature the protein. So if you think of eggs as the proteins are in straight lines, so they're liquidy or close to being least amount cooked, they're more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb the maximum amount of nutrients. When you cook them, you start to take those straight lines and curl them up on themselves. So that's called denaturing, which means they're less bioavailable, which means you will still get the nutrition, but the macronutrients are less bioavailable than if you cooked it less. Correct?
Right.
All right. So eggs are great. Try to, scramble them, bake them, poach them. Just try not to fry them if at all possible. Bacon. I can tell you right now, my top 10 things that I don't eat is breakfast meats because they're the worst in every way.
Oh, man.
Sausage, bacon, because they contain the cheapest cuts of meats, highest amount of fat, highest amounts of sodium, with very little to no nutritional qualities. Yeah.
You just burst a lot of people's bubbles right now.
I know. Bacon is so ubiquitous in our culture, and everybody loves it. But let me put it this way: it contains the least amount of nutrition, high in fat, high in salt, high in everything. Yet people eat it like it's going on style. I don't understand it. Because it's that salty. But guess what? You can add salt to your breakfast. You don't have to have bacon with it. So
true.
Waffles and pancakes. You know what? Make your own and make nutrient-dense versions, like we do it at home. We take almond flour, coconut flour, and flaxseed flour. We add 1 banana. We add cinnamon, nutmeg, 3 eggs, unsweetened almond milk, and then we put blueberries. And guess what? We make this high-protein pancake that's high in fiber, low in sugar. We top it with fruit, honey, and nuts, and it's fantastic. Kids love it.
Sounds like dessert.
It is. It looks like a birthday cake once you're done, like, dressing it up. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome. Back on the smoothie question. Spinach, banana, frozen pineapple, is that a good smoothie?
Absolutely. Yeah. Spinach, great. You got the high fiber. You've got good phytochemicals in there. Pineapples are fantastic. Pineapple juice, and pineapples actually are natural antibiotics. If you didn't know that.
I did know that. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, they've got some great curative qualities with pineapples. And then you mentioned banana in the smoothie as well?
I did.
Yeah, so banana for density, but just add like a dollop or a big scoop of non-fat Greek yogurt to get that protein as well.
Awesome. I'm a huge fan of smoothies because I don't have to think about it. Well, I don't have to take a huge amount of time out of my schedule to drink it or eat it. So that's something, it's good to know that we're on the right path with that. So what would be a few quick tips that you would give the listeners who are like, okay, I've been listening about nutrition, I'm getting excited about that, but now I want to implement some fitness regimen into my life? What would be some quick, easy tips?
Yeah, so some quick, easy tips about that is, number one, try to set a schedule that you stick to rather than going to the gym at 5 in the morning on Monday and then go 2 o'clock on Tuesday, 3 o'clock on Wednesday. Just like eating, set a schedule for yourself, number one.
Have a plan.
Have a plan as best as possible. Number two, make sure you sleep 6 hours minimum the night before, because you will be more motivated to go to the gym when you're well rested than when you're dead tired, obviously.
Yeah.
Number three, always include some form of resistance training into your workout, because resistance training, which is anything that requires you to push on an opposing force, which is lifting weights or lifting your own body weight, has more an effect on your metabolism than doing cardio, because cardio does not change your metabolism at all.
Okay.
All right. And then 4, always supplement your workouts with copious amounts of water, because you're going to have to drink twice as much when you're working out, because that will help flush your system, lose weight at the same time. But keep in mind this, your workouts don't need to be 2 hours long. You don't have to do that.
Right.
You could keep 30, 40, 50 minutes, depending on your schedule, as long as you don't take a lot of breaks, as long as you hit everything in a timely manner, get that heart rate up. And remember, when it comes down to using machines, dumbbells, or cables, I prefer cables and dumbbells over machines. The reason why is because cables and dumbbells require you to use all these small stabilizer muscles, which keep all your larger muscle groups in check. When you do sit-down machines, you're not working your body in the sense of you're not using all the stabilizer muscles. And there's a difference between what's called a simple movement and a complex movement. Simple movements are you're doing movement in one direction. Complex movements are movements that requires 2 different muscle groups working in tandem to lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The complex movements are the best. So that's why I'm doing like cables and dumbbells and all that. But try to avoid the machines where you're sitting there just doing monotonous motions in one direction.
Well, and is it true that you really don't need heavy weight to increase muscle mass? It's just that it's having better form than adding a ton of weight?
That is correct. So it's form, repetition, it's how you do those. If you look at the gym, if you go to the gym, any gym now, back in the 80s and 90s, you saw the big meatheads, right? The big muscle. Guess what? You go to the gym now, they are very hard to find, because we've all evolved to the point where you don't have to weigh 210 pounds of muscle. You don't need that. In fact, you're less flexible. It's unrealistic to keep that up unless you're a bodybuilder by trade. But It's about being lean and toned and functional.
Awesome. I think those are some great places to start. And as we close this segment of the show, would you share with us a little bit about your martial arts background with fitness and what you're doing over in California?
Yeah. So I've been a martial artist since I was 13 years old. And I've trained in Taekwondo, Hapkido, Jeet Kune Do, Jiu-Jitsu, and I was a former MMA guy for about 5 years. And what I'm doing now is my company, Team No Excuses Fitness, we actually work with large organizations, actually big and small. And I was hired by Caltech here in Pasadena, one of the most prestigious technical colleges in the world, to come in and do a 4-week seminar where I teach the faculty and staff self-defense techniques. And we did our 3rd week just today. And we're going to do our 4th week next week. And they've asked me to come back and do a martial arts seminar in May for the big health and wellness fair. But yeah, I work with all these organizations across the country doing demonstrations, self-defense, and doing corporate events as well. So we work with a variety of companies, individuals, and organizations and make customized plans depending on their needs.
What I love that you said too about, the martial arts and self-defense, it's a form of exercise, but it's also so important to be able to defend yourself. And so you get 2 in 1 in being able to get, when you're learning it, get that workout in, but then also learn how to take these skills when you need them.
Well, importantly, the most important lesson the folks that I'm teaching here are learning is self-confidence. That is
absolutely
being able to navigate through a stressful situation, whether it be a life-threatening situation or not, but they now have the self-confidence to say, I can actually do this and defend myself and feel good about it.
And size and weight and all of that doesn't matter when you have the training.
Yeah, when you have the training, it's not about the size and weight, it's all about the technique and reaction.
That's awesome. Well, I have truly loved learning. You really blew my mind on some of these things today with fitness. Again, I think I know a lot about nutrition and fitness, but every week I'm learning something new, and it's just so exciting to be doing this show with you. So thank you. And listeners, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can get alerts when we have a new podcast up, as well as follow Sanjay on social media at GoBigRaja on Facebook, Instagram, and you're on LinkedIn also.
Yes, absolutely.
And so tune in next week, and don't forget to leave your comments or any topics that you would like us to cover. So, thank you.